So today I'm going to teach you how to make this frequency splitter. What this does is it splits the frequencies into a lower section and a higher section. I also have a 3-band version. I'll show you how to make both of these. But first, let me just explain why you'd want something like this. Here I've got this loop here, if we have a listen to it. So where this frequency splitter would come in handy is in this bass group. If I solo this bass group here, you can hear that it has a lot of high-end information and a lot of low-end information. So where this splitter could come in handy is we could do things like compress the lows a lot, so the sub is all compressed. And we could also then, sidechain so that we can duck only the lows from our kick, which is this one. And then in the mid-high section, we could do something like maybe a room reverb. So you can see it has lots of applications, this splitting of frequencies. You can do a lot of different things to it. You're only really limited to your imagination. So how do we make one of these? Well, you can probably see how it's made. It's quite easy. We'll start from scratch. We'll bring in an auto effects rack, and then come to an EQ3, and we want one of those. When we click on this one here, we get to see all our chains. And when we click on this one here, we get to see our macro buttons. So one of the first things we'll do is we'll just map the frequency low to macro 1. We'll call this low split, low split. And let's color it. And then this one here, will macro 2, so that's the high frequency. And we're going to color that one blue, and we're going to call it, high split. Now, this is this chain here. We're going to rename this chain to high, and we're going to disable the low and the medium gains. So all that's happening here is letting through the highs. Now, if we alt drag this chain down one, we get a duplicate of that chain. So what that's enabled us to do is keep all of our frequency low and frequency high macros on both of them. So now we're going to rename this one to mids, and we're going to enable the mid section and have the low and high muted. Now, the last chain, we're going to put in the low. You guessed it, you just click on the low. All our frequency and frequency high macro knobs are assigned to these macros. This one was around about 250 Hertz, and this one was around about 2500. You can now adjust these to whatever your situation needs, and all of them, as you can see, the highs, the mids and the lows all share the same crossover points, the highs, mids and lows. So now we can rename this one as frequency splitter 3-band, and then you push this button here to save that. I won't save it because I've already got one. And then to make the 2-band one, well, that's easy. We just delete the high one. So delete as such. We're going to rename this one now so it's mids/highs. and I'm going to enable the highs there. So now anything above 250 will actually be our crossover point. And we just save this one as frequency splitter 2-band instead of 3-band. And that's it, that's how you do it. There is another way. Just in case you didn't like this EQ3, just in case some people don't like the way that the crossovers on this EQ3 work. I personally don't have an issue with it, but another method of doing this, if you're not happy with an EQ3, is you can use Ableton's multi-band dynamics. When you bring a multi-band dynamics in, just get rid of the EQ3 here, delete that chain. You can see here that this also has crossover points, so you have a high, a low, and there's your mid section. And to get rid of them, you just turn these off. So this will be your low, and now you want to make your low split this one, so we'll map that to low split, and we'll map that to high split. Again, mids. This time we enable the mid section, and this one we enable the highs section. So there you are, there's two ways of doing the same thing. As far as I know, Ableton and Bitwig are the only DAWs that have this kind of setup. And if you know of any DAWs that have this configuration and you're able to do this, just let me know and I'll do another video explaining it. So there you go. 3-band, 2-band frequency splitter.